Hi, Dr. Liz here. I'm actually in a sweater today because it's cold in Florida, like in the 50s. I know if I lived in Michigan, I would not be wearing a sweater, but it feels really cozy. But it's a rare video where I'm actually wearing a sweater. Okay, let's get to today's topic. How do you know if your parent is a borderline or a narcissist? Now, there are a couple of defining things that would put them into one category versus the other. But before I tell you about the things, it is possible to have both going on. Okay, so you can have like a borderline mom that has a narcissism going on as well. And it's sort of a toss-up whether that happens or not. It does for some borderlines and it doesn't for others, okay? Some borderlines, if they have an episode where they feel out of control or attacked or very sad, or they feel like they can't get control of their feelings, they'll feel very bad afterwards, okay? A narcissist usually doesn't feel bad afterwards because they don't have a lot of feelings going on when you're a narcissist. And that is actually one of the things that helps you see, okay, is it this or is it that? Narcissists tend to have like anger that shows and then flatness. That's it. They don't have a whole lot of feelings. So a borderline will have a lot of feelings going on. Like it seems like they're always feeling, and sometimes it looks like narcissism because it looks like it's all about them all the time because their feelings are hurt or they took something the wrong way or they think it's about them when actually it's not. They take things very personally often, and it's hard to get them to understand when you're on the other side of that this wasn't about them. Like you have needs too. So that's why it sometimes feels narcissistic to a child. Like the child has needs too, but the parent often fails to see that if they're a borderline parent. Instead, they're getting caught up in what they need and their feelings. So another big sign is if the parent has threatened suicide or has attempted suicide in the past. That's a big, huge one. That they're threatening, like, if you don't do this, then I'm going to kill myself, or nobody cares about me, I'm going to kill myself, or they've done it in the past. That tends to pop them into the borderline category versus the narcissist category. Narcissists don't typically tend to threaten suicide. In fact, they think they're like God's gift to the world, so why would they ever off themselves, okay, honestly, versus a borderline feels a lot of very intense emotions, intense feelings, and that will sometimes lead to suicide attempts. Okay, so I just wanted to give you two big things that help you figure out, what am I dealing with here? Am I dealing with the borderline or am I dealing with a narcissist? And again, there can be overlap, and often you can get a borderline parent who is also narcissistic. They make it all about them versus the parent who feels really bad afterwards if, let's say, they had what I call an episode and then they're like, I'm so sorry I said that or I did that, or whatever that is, okay? No matter how old they are, they can get treatment. And I think a borderline actually can recover. I do believe that. I know that is not a popular opinion in the field, but I do believe that a borderline can recover and can get a lot better and can feel stable and not act out on their kids all the time, assuming they're, we're talking about grown-ups, right? Grown-up borderlines, versus a narcissist usually cannot recover. They can work on it. So I knew one who was very aware that he had narcissism and really tried to work on it. He went to therapy twice a week. This wasn't one of my clients, it was a friend. And he did make an active effort to control his narcissism, but that is rare. Most narcissists really can't get better and they have no awareness of it and they don't want to. They don't want to get better because they don't think anything is wrong with them, okay? Often a borderline, actually, here's a third one. A borderline will have a sense that there's something wrong and they wish that they could get better. They wish they didn't feel this way. They wish they didn't go into like these, voids of emotion. Void's not the right word. They wish they didn't fall into the pit of emotion. There you go, okay? Like an abyss of emotion. That's the word I'm looking for, abyss. And if they get treatment, they don't have to live there. They can get better. They can feel more stable and be more stable and be a better mom or dad to you. All of that is a possibility, no matter what age, really. And when you're getting into the 70s and 80s, it becomes less likely, just to give you a realistic viewpoint of that. Because imagine existing this way for most of your life and then trying to change that. So it does get harder, but I still believe there's possibilities there, okay? But certainly if you're dealing with a parent who's in their 40s, 50s, 60s, I still think those are great times to get help. All right. And if they're in their 30s and you're their child, you would be really young, right? Like, I don't think you'd be watching this. Maybe you're a friend, a mother of, maybe it's one of your child's friends and it's their mother you're dealing with. I don't know. Sometimes that comes up, right? Like you run into what looks like a really difficult mom and you're trying to figure out what's going on. That's a whole nother video, right? All right. There's always free stuff over at my website, drlizhypnosis.com. I work all over the world, so go over there and give it a look if you want some help with this. All right. Peace.